I'm Jim R. Baroy Wilton. I've been doing my artwork since I was a kid. It started out with some encouragement from my grandmother, who always had paper around the house. She knew enough to cut it in 4. I was just telling somebody about that. And because she would have probably gone through a lot more paper, do smaller sketches, and told me everything I did was wonderful. And that was good encouragement. And then eventually my grandfather, who was an artist with bird feathers, he made the newspaper, as a matter of fact. It's a special type of photography. I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty amazing. I wish I'd had one today, just to look back at, to remember him. I found a copy of the newspaper article, which I keep in an album at home, and I feel privileged to have that. It was so long ago. But I think when he passed, my uncle sold the paintings, because there's very few people that can do that, or there was then. There might be more now. But he paid me the ultimate compliment when he told me I was better than him. So that's kind of the origin of it. He did that. I think my great uncle, who I never met, he died at a young age. He did calligraphy, plus he did a lot of sketching too. So it's in the blood, it's definitely. It's on my father's side, the Wilton side. And it's been fun. And I stopped for a while. I've got 2 grown sons that I raised. And I've always painted with acrylic because I can put it away quick. I don't have to worry about a kid coming out with oil paint all over him or something for the other room. And now I wouldn't anyway, but so I still stick with the acrylic. It's handy that way. I can put it away and pull it out the next day, and yeah, it's helpful. And the photography, I've always done that. Back when you had to have film, a lot of times I would use the film and never develop it, because if you're a kid, you can't afford all that. And then I did a lot of them with my kids. I'd pose them different ways and take pictures. I had so many albums. And I think I did a painting of both of my sons I've done portraits of. And in it, I was a fanatic about the detail of a box of Hamburger Helper sitting on the counter, and you can see that it's Hamburger Helper, except for the writing of how to cook it. But yeah, been doing it a long time. My mother used to draw ducks with me when we were little. We would spend family time, like 1 day a week, playing games or something like that, with my mother and my father, or just my mother, depending if my father was downstairs building model airplanes. And so that was kind of an encouragement, but my mother never stuck with it, which is a shame, because you never know. You know, she might have done something more with it if she'd pursued it. She did paint by numbers, I think, too. Yeah, those pretty cool too. I try to do them though, but those are oil paint. They're a mess. Yeah, I've got the monsters on one side, and just different stuff. I've always liked horror movies, and I had my previous exhibit in Webster, the Book Lovers Gourmet, I had sold a painting of Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies, which the most current one, Terrifier 2, very graphic. Warning, don't let the kids watch it. Anyway, I sold the painting. Strangely enough, my brother came in, told me he's a minimalist, he wouldn't be buying anything, and then he purchased it. And then he showed the picture to his coworker, so like I said, I did a second one. So I have another one around the corner of Art the Clown, as a matter of fact, just a different background. And Freddy Krueger and stuff like that, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. And Michael Myers is my favorite, always was. And over here is my adventures at the lighthouses. Got the Nubble with the reflection, and Night with the Christmas lights. And I spent many sunsets at Nubble, going all the way up to York for that. And then my still life of the buoys. That's actually probably my favorite painting here today. I had that at the last exhibit too. And I brought it home, hung it on my bedroom wall, And I said, you know what? I'm going to show it again. So here it is. But if it doesn't sell, it's going back on the bedroom wall and it's going to stay there because I like it.
It is a beautiful painting.
Thank you.
Are you classically trained or self-taught?
Self-taught more. I had art classes. I started out in Dudley. I had a art teacher, Mr. Sispansky, remember, because he was a big help. He taught me a lot of things. I left there when I was in 9th grade and my mother moved to another town, a couple more towns. But at the time, to get me to pay attention to my work, they gave me extra art classes. So, I mean, how could I not bring my grades up? You know, and I think the guidance counselor went to school with my father besides. My father had passed when I was 10. Anyway, that's basically where I learned, was throughout school, plus practice at home. I was always sketching something. I had drawings hanging around. We'd cram my drawers with them and everything else.
So what are some of your biggest influences? Are you influenced by other artwork or other art?
You know who I like? I can't think of his name. They called him the Master of Light. He's done lighthouses. He's done buildings. I wish I could do that. I definitely envy him, and probably some, Da Vinci. I've seen some of his stuff too. I'm amazed by it. Or even some of the artists who have done album covers. When I was in the 1970s, I was into Kiss for a while, and they had done the solo albums and the artwork. I was just impressed by how they got the tear ducts perfect, the shadowing of the eyes, and how the light hit the eyes, and that's influenced me, definitely. So when I go and do the people, I always think of the eyes, right down to my monster people that I did. Or even the expressions. I did one of Marilyn Monroe, which I was just telling somebody. I think they said, "Do you see that painting on there?" And she says, "Yeah, the guy I work with painted that." She didn't know she was going to own it. So a couple weeks later, I found out she had seen it. So I heard you like it. She says, "Yeah." She says, "It's like she's looking at me." She said, "It looks so real." I'm like, "Well, that's the ultimate compliment." And I had always thought she was a definite example of sensuality. Marilyn Monroe, oh my God. Yeah, beautiful lady.
So photography, you are into photography as well as painting.
Yep.
Where are your influences from photography standpoint?
Probably almost anything, but mostly wildlife. Yeah, I remember I used to see Field and Stream and some of the artwork on the outside of there. Even the pictures of the fish, the details of the scales and that, and the way the light hits the scales, and sometimes iridescent looking. And I always thought that was beautiful. And that's what made me go out in the woods and take some of my own. I go out by Quabbin, Route 9, the swamp area. And I've seen moose there. And I've traveled to New Hampshire trying to find moose and not had the luck. Except for the moose tour with a big spotlight in a school bus, you're not going to get a good picture. So I came back here, and probably a week after that last moose tour, what do I see? A moose in Quabbin Swamp. I've even seen 2 at a time over there. And I'm sure there's a real name for that swamp there, but it's not Quabbin Swamp. But it's out there on Route 9 anyway. I've seen that. I've seen the ducks from the Arctic down there. The mergansers, the eiders, and all sorts of ducks. And they're beautiful. Wood ducks. And I have a good zoom, 83 zoom. So I'm able to get pictures that I wouldn't ordinarily get. It's not like the old days where you have a camera that's 10 feet in front of you and that's as far as it goes. But I've been very fortunate with that. And even in Southbridge, coyote, a white-tailed buck I saw a few weeks over at the airport, and most recently probably a barred owl.
Do you only shoot photography of animals, or do you do other photography as well?
Well, I've gone to weddings and taken pictures too. Wasn't sure where that was going to go, but I had no complaints. Maybe it was only one wedding, but a couple of different things people have asked me to do. I've done family settings like once or twice. I like doing the animals better. It's just more fun for me. And it's my time alone when I'm in the woods, nobody bothers me. I can go out and watch the animals and get some good photos, you know, and I said if I died tomorrow with the pictures, the things I've been able to see, right down to climbing rocks over at the lighthouses and getting pictures and trying to strive for something nobody else has, you know, and I've had a couple of things published as well. Matter of fact, there's a author of Lighthouse books, Jeremy D'Entremont. He has a bunch of books. And New England he started with. He's gone around the country. He's gone around, I think he's been to Ireland and around the world too, taking pictures. He's more retired, but I think he has a blog now, a podcast. But we took his picture. We went, me and a friend of mine went up and got a tour of Portland Head Lighthouse, and not Portland, excuse me, Portsmouth Light in Newcastle, New Hampshire. And I said to him, let me take your picture right there. I took his picture. You could see whaleback light in the background. I said, Jeremy, you know this picture would be great in a frame or even on a back of a book. So I don't know if it was a couple months later, he said, I'm re-releasing a series of my books, and your picture of me is going to be back. I'm like, oh my God. He says, do you mind me using your name? I said, no. But yeah, oh my God, I was so flattered. I said, just give me an autograph set. That's all I ask. He did. Still got him.
Nice.
Yeah, it was flattering.
Is there do you have like a website people can see your work at? Or?
I have an Etsy site. Yeah, I got an Etsy page. Oh God, I've had that a couple of years. It doesn't sell as often as I like, but I've sold at least 10 off of it, but I don't push it as much, you know. But yeah, I'm up on there. I think it's Jim R. Wilton, Art and Photography, because I've got a couple of pages on Facebook too. Besides my personal page, I've got, Jim R. Wilton, Art and Photography, which I've sorely neglected. There's another artist right now on there that paints every day. So he's like, he's making it more interesting. He's probably getting my page some exposure. And I try to throw stuff on there too, here and there. But oh my God, he's fantastic. In the way he has time, because I've been a 35-year nurse's aide at Southbridge Rehab, and until recently when I've had to retire for health reasons.
I don't know how long this exhibit runs for.
Till the 29th is the last day.
Okay.
But yeah, if anybody's out there, don't say I can't do it, because anybody can do it. I think these people that say I can't draw a straight line, I don't think I know any artist that draws a straight line without a ruler. Go do it, try it. And it's not just art, it's anything in life, you know, shoot for the stars, you know, do your best. I had a little girl that I saw when I was setting up. She said, wow, you're so good. Did you go to school for this? I said, only my regular elementary and high school and stuff like that. Oh, I hope I'm good as you someday. And she saw Art the Clown. I love clowns. You know how many kids I say that are terrified of clowns? I said, well, then keep pushing, keep going. I said, you will get good. You might be better than me, you never know. I said, but keep trying, you know. You only go around once, you know. It's up to you to choose what you do with your life. And if you can make an art career or photography or anything else, give it a shot. It's your life to do what you want with, you know. And that's trying to do that with my life. And I think I'm doing pretty good. I got no complaints.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.